what can you tell us about your lineup tonight?
I thought won't be in. Nope. England will. And we'll have Robinson that we brought up. He'll be in the lineup.
Who's England?
With everybody.
Start the night,
No, we won't have a set pair. It's the same with the forwards. We'll mishmatch and do different things to be able to match their lineup.
Do you expect Andy to join you tomorrow in Pittsburgh?
The day he joins us, to be honest with you, I don't know, but we're hopeful he joins us on that trip.
Starting goaltender tonight, Coach?
Condon.
Okay. Day off yesterday, optional skate this morning. Reasoning behind the time off?
The grind of the NHL. I mean, you look at the other team didn't practice yesterday either. A lot of teams right now are doing that. The compressed schedule, I think everybody's feeling it now. The World Cup and the extra week now in January makes for a lot of compressed games. And, it's been so long now. We've played every 2 days. And, there's, like I've said before, a lot of our guys have played in the chair that usually they're not playing in, and either because they're young or because they have a certain role, and it's taken a lot out of our guys. And I'll be honest, last game, for me, I felt it right away. Like it was tough to get the legs. It was tough to guys get tired faster, and emotionally, mentally, and physically. I mean, it's my job to know what's what. When the guys are not pushing hard, when they're not paying the price. I have to recognize that, but I have to recognize that when it's not that and they're giving everything they've got and it's just there's no more juice in the tank, it's my job to recognize that, and that's what I felt last game.
Guy, as a coach, everybody's got a strength and conditioning coach. Every team is fit. How, as a coach, do you deal with the reality now that in this league with this compressed schedule, there's a subtle but important difference between fitness and endurance? And I don't know how you bridge that.
It is a juggling act, and it's an everyday monitoring. That's our guy Chris Schwartz has been terrific. We've been monitoring guys also with monitors during practices and in some games, and we got our charts and what's what and which games were tougher, which practices were tougher, and why, and when we should give a break. And so in that respect, I think we're right on top of things. And when you look at, you're right, the players are all in shape now. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore. Somebody comes in and is able to dog his summer and and make the team and perform. And the guys who are not in great shape, they're out of the mix right away. So whenever my gauge for me is when I see my hardest working guys that are always relentless, that are always giving you everything they've got, and all of a sudden it's not there, and like those 4 or 5 guys per team that you have that are like that, it's been 2 games in a row, okay, if they look like this, it's because everybody needs some sort of a mental break, and we have to adjust to that. It's like I said, it's a compressed schedule now, and everybody's living it, and I'm talking to my buddies, coaches in the other teams, and it's the same. And I look at clips also. I just looked at some of our games 2-3 weeks ago, just to look at a few things we're looking at. And I looked at, let's say, for the last 2 games, and it was striking how we had a bit more legs. And so we have to manage that, and that's the way to manage it. Will it hurt us maybe in the first period? Maybe we'll start a little slower, but I think in the long run it'll help us in the first, second, and third in the next games. And I'm sorry.
Were you surprised that as the rest of the hockey world is drawing along to getting fired? What was your take on that from afar?
I think I'm always surprised by things like that happening. But like I said before, I'm not there. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs and why, and so I certainly couldn't comment on that part. I mean, as a coach, you hate to see coaches. I've lived it. I've lived it once, and it's nothing you enjoy. But it's part of the business, and really, if you start commenting on what other people are doing, I think you're out of line. I think it's not my. I can't have an opinion on.
We're the fourth. Sorry. Go ahead.
Mark MacArthur, Pierre said yesterday he's pretty certain he's going to be back. Park said today he hopes to be back if he gets medical clearance. What would it mean to get him back deep?
Well, first of all, when he comes back, let's not be, expectations can't be that he's going to be right away at his best and he's going to, run the first power play and play against the top lines. And I mean, we all know he's got that possibility, and that's who he really is. But you just look, for instance, that's a guy like Lazard, who's had mono, missed the camp. Stone missed the camp. It took these guys time to get back to what they are. I mean, Clark has missed even more than that. So, I don't want to put pressure on him to come back and save the day and look, like he's at his best. And when he comes back, we'll put him in situations that he can manage and let him grow and get his game back, to a level that's going to help us, and he will help us. I mean, no matter what he does, he's so smart. He's going to help us in whatever he does. Now, which date? I don't know. He wants to come back. He's doing everything to come back, and I mean, that's the enthusiastic part of it. It's when we get him in our line. I mean, he's a top 6 forward. Anybody missing? I mean, Florida missed 2 top 6 guys since the beginning of the year. You are not the same team. It's plain and simple. And Bobby not there and him not there. Other guys, it demands a lot on other guys for a long period of time. It wears some guys out. It's normal. So when a guy like that comes back, you got versatility, you got different possibilities. It gives you the luxury of putting guys in their chair, letting them breathe, and have the energy to do what they do best. So it's clear it changes a lot for us. But I think the biggest thing is his intangibles. He's known clearly as a top leader on that team. He's a real part of the soul of the team. The players not only care for him, but they respect him, his opinion, and he's one of these old souls that holds you accountable, which is rarer and rarer in this day and age now. So, I mean, you love those guys. They're so rare that when they come in the room, it's not just what he's going to do, it's what he's going to say and what he represents. So, I mean, it's gigantic. It's gigantic for us, so it's all positive.
What are your expectations from England to go back? I mean, you haven't seen him, I guess.
No, I have not seen him since. He's the guy that deserves it right now. So for us, it's always about the guy who deserves it. And what I've seen from him in camp, he's tough. He's a tough kid. I mean, he didn't care in camp who it was, and he finishes checks and even open ice ones, got into fights, real good at boxing out in front of the net. So definitely he's going to be somebody that's going to bring some hardness to our group. Now, how many shifts? How much pressure we want to put on this kid. I mean, we got to be smart and manage that. That's why we can't say he's going to be playing with that guy the whole game, and that's going to be his roles. Right now is come up, and the minutes you're going to play, just feel the NHL, keep it simple, and groom yourself into into your first experience in the NHL. So it's I mean, there's a first game for a real young guy. So it's good, but at the same time, no pressure to come here and play in the top two pairs. That's for sure.
What stands out for you in this matchup here against Florida tonight?
Well, I mean, last game we played really good, and Luongo, stood on his head. So obviously, that's one obstacle that we have to be ready for. I'm sure he'll stand on his head again. And I think they've got some players that are big that can hold on to the puck. And if we give them room, obviously it's going to be tough to defend against them.